Parfait. Je vais maintenant donner la parole à Monsieur Ferran Pérez, qui représente le Programme des Nations Unies pour le développement, le PNUD, et qui est responsable de l'initiative PNUD Art, qui promeut le développement durable à l'échelle locale. Il nous reste exactement, on va dire, 12 minutes entre votre présentation et la conclusion du président. Donc, il faudra être court pour respecter aussi les traductrices et les interprètes, pardon. Donc moi je voudrais juste voir, au-delà de la réaction que vous avez par rapport au débat aussi, comment vous voyez les ponts possibles entre les activités de résolution et les activités de PNUDART, et notamment le lien avec le Forum mondial sur le développement économique local, sur lequel le FMDV sera co-organisateur et sur lequel le PNUDART est porteur de l'initiative. Je vous remercie.
Thank you, Chair. Well, first of all, thanks FMDB for the invitation, and it is a pleasure to speak to you, the last one standing in the room. So just very briefly, we're running out of time. The idea of the intervention would be more or less in the sense of the colleague from UN Habitat on how to link all this wealth of experiences, of good practices that have been presented throughout the day, to go beyond the municipality or the local level, so they can be taken into account and inform global processes. In this sense, of course, there's the logic of establishing a dialogue between territories, between Europe and Africa, Latin America, Asia. This goes beyond saying, but as it was introduced this year, we're at a crossroads. There's like the definition of the next development agenda, the post-2015, is coming to its height, to its peak. So it will be important to assess and to see how we can best inform these debates that are happening at the United Nations level, but and that sometimes when working at local level and municipal level, it seems that our debates that are not relevant or unconnected to what we do every day at local level as a municipality, as a regional government. But at the end of the day, they do have an influence. Like these debates that we will see at UN level when defining the future development agenda, what it's called this future SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. These will be taken from national governments and will be implemented and have an impact in each of the municipalities of the country, and ultimately in each of the citizens. So it is important that we make our best, so these debates that happen at this very high level and New York UN level do take into account the good practices, these experiences, these innovations that we all know could bring effective development into the municipality, into the lives of citizens. So they're taken into account. So just very briefly, I will speak of this post-2015 and ways in which municipal governments, local authorities can engage. And then as a second point, I will briefly present the process of the local economic development forums that has been going for a few years now and will have its next moment in 2015. So just going with post-2015, this discussion started in 2013 with the definition or starting of the definition of these future SDGs on the what of the agenda, the topics. And now in 2014, we're promoting UNDP together with our colleagues from UN Habitat and the Global Task Force of Local and Regional Governments, which is led by UCLG. We are promoting this debate that we call on localizing post-2015. So the logic of this debate is to, as I was saying, to provide with concrete examples, mechanisms, instruments that could be used to effectively implement these future SDGs at local level, and to assess what is the role of the local government, of the regional government in this implementation, to see how these SDGs will then speak to the local development plan, to the municipal action that happens day to day. So this is a bit the logic of this process of localizing. You can just move to the next slide. This is happening in three main ways. There's national dialogues. These are happening in 13 countries, which came out themselves. They proposed, they said, listen, this is interesting for me. I want to be engaged in this, and they're promoting local level dialogues, like there's a widespread consultation on this role of local governments in the post-2015. Then we're promoting too this regional and global dialogue. So, for example, last week, together with the European Commission, DG DEFCO, in the context of the Lima EU Policy Forum on Development, we had a discussion which involved like many Latin American governments on how to localize, how to bring this agenda local, and how the local level, how local governments can inform the shaping of this agenda. Then there's other moments of consultations. We're working with Portugal, Italy, and Germany, and other actors in Europe, within Europe, to bring this discussion. And then we are promoting also this online aspect of the discussion in this link that you can see. So there is a concrete way in which you can contribute to with just a comment, with a report you have worked on, with a good practice, a piece of news that you think could be useful, and why not to make a strong case for not only for local governments, but for the importance of a dynamic local economy, for a strong financing of local institutions that are the drivers of development. So these are the opportunities that very concretely you can engage with. And just quickly on the next slide. And to me, the most important, like these are debates, right? This is just discussion, it's words. But then we will be implementing these SDGs, and what we're going to promote together with other UN agencies and associations of local governments is what we call this piloting of these sustainable development goals at subnational level, at local level. So here at New York level, there are already some governments, national governments. For example, the UK is putting forward a proposal to pilot the potential SDG on governance. The Netherlands is seeking to pilot the SDG on water. So why not? Let's try to also pilot some of these SDGs, but also at local level, not only at local level. And just very briefly, and I'll stay in this light, another important moment of global dialogues is this World Forum of Local Economic Development. This is a process that started in 2011 in Seville, with the co-lead of UCLG, FOGAR, and other actors. It had a second important moment in Brazil, in Foz do Iguaçu in 2013, which brought together over 4,000 participants, practitioners, to exchange on good practices on many issues that have been discussed today here, of territorial marketing, public-private partnership, social economy, cooperatives, the governance of local economic development, how to manage indigenous resources, technology, like urban-rural relations, the role of international cooperation, and many more. So this is a process that is taking even more importance. Now we have the European Commission on board. We have the Inter-American Development Bank. We have, as was introduced by the chair, like the participation of FMDB. So this will have its next important moment in Turin in 2015, from the 15th to 18th October, linked to the Milan Expo on food security. And there again, we can, of course, I'm available to provide more details on how you can engage and online, and also in organizing some sessions or taking part in the discussions in Turin. So I'll stop here. Thank you.